Okay, by now I'm sure you recognize that this is a little bit of Pachelbel's Canon in D. It's a little bit of that. It's a little bit of improvising. And it's also a little bit of arpeggios. So this is a really nice exercise study that I actually started this morning. So it's got a few mistakes, which I'm sure you picked up. And the purpose of it here is for you to beat me, okay? And to also learn a lot of cool techniques. Not really a competition, but I want to share why I like this particular classical study. First of all, the entire tune, this whole that is all taken from your B natural minor scale, or your B Aeolian, which happens to go like this from fret number 7. You're going to go 7, 9, 10, 7, 9, 10, 7, 9. Then you move back to fret 6, 6, 7, 9, back up to fret 7, 7, 8, 10, and you finish off with 7, 9, 10. So it's your B Aeolian, B natural minor scale. This entire piece is built just from the scale. Now the chords are quite cool as well. I'm going to take you through the chord chart as well now. But before we get going any further, please make sure you've either printed out the PDF file with the actual tune on, or you've got it somewhere that you can actually see it while working with this video. Remember, the entire purpose of this video is finger exercises, learn a cool tune, and get to improvise a bit and just get your techniques nice and smooth. There's some nice arpeggios as well later, for example. Reverses it later. But we're going to take you through step by step. Okay, first thing you want to do is get the chords right. So I'm going to switch to a clear sound now. We're going to go through the chords step by step. And I'm going to focus more onto our fretting hand now, just to take you through the chords. Now, on the backtrack I sent you, there's actually 3 backtracks. There's one called Canon 65, Canon 75, and Canon 85. Those are the backtracks with the chords on that you can actually play along with. Okay, now the chords are, if you want to go through them, D to A to B minor. I'm using a bar chord. Fuller sound, it's easier to go to F sharp minor. Then G, you can play as a normal chord too, not too fussy there. Back to D, back to G, and back to A. Now that gets played over and over and over and over again the whole way through. And I've seen different renditions of this Pachelbel piece, this Canon in D as well, with different guys who've sort of taken it into different directions. There's some nice meme ones as well, where the guys sort of tease about how they use it for pop music. Basically, it's some regard it as the pop hit of the classical sort of era. But we're not in for it for that. We're into learning our techniques. So first of all, your chords: D, A, B minor, F sharp, G, D, G, A. Now, if you decide to power chord this, you can do some pretty cool variations, and power chords obviously want distortion. So your power chords are going to be. Now, on the recordings that I sent you, on the backtracks I sent, you'll hear that I played a little bit higher later on as well. So instead of doing the F sharp here, for example, I did the F sharp there, which is quite a nice little power chord study. Your F sharp sitting on fret number 4, the 4th string, and the pinky has to get involved to get the power chord sound. Also for the A, I take advantage of the open A string and I get a nicer sounding. That sounds cool, but this just sounds, gives more of a bite to it, more of that sort of nice retro 80s hard rock that you're familiar with. Also with your damping technique, you want to make sure you get a nice palm damp. And there you can see the open A string, and then you can see my fingers over here dancing for you. showing you the A power chord. Now, I'm not going to spend too much time on that. If you're doing this video, you should know your bar chords, you should know your power chords. Otherwise, you probably wouldn't be getting this particular study. But if there's a bar chord or power chord you're not familiar with, please drop me a WhatsApp and I'll send you more detailed information. Okay. Now, on the riffs over here, on your PDF file, try and keep as an exercise, no other reason, try and keep one finger per fret as best as possible. So if you're looking at your first line, and you can see I move back there to fetch that fret 6 and then back there. But once you got that later, if you decide to slide, like that for example, I don't mind. If you want to do hammer-ons, and for that you can see the hammer-on, just to show I'm not picking it, you can do that as well. So there's different ways you can end up doing this. So if you want to slide it, or you want to pick it with hammer-ons, I don't really mind. You can even try some palm damping when it goes. Nice little palm damp of the back there. You can see the palm is at there. Maybe a pinch harmonic. So once you've learned the basic tune, I'm not going to sit and take you through the entire tune because that'll be like about a 2-hour study saying note for note, please play 7, please play 8. So we're just basically working with the first 2 bars. But if you want to slide, if you want to palm damp, if you want to hammer on, pinch harmonic, make it your own once you know how to play it. So first of all, you're going to play just this. And you're just picking everything methodical, learning the timing, nice and clinically clean. It's good for your technique. And while you're doing, what really helped me was to visualize the scale. So I can see those techniques when it goes. Those notes, which is the basically 3rd and 4th bar, is taken from the lower part of the natural minor we just mentioned, that B, A, you heard it. So it's a very nice scale to get familiar with, and also for the improvising we did as well. The middle little part, I just sort of had fun. I couldn't possibly work out again what I did. I'd have to sit and listen to it and slow it down. That was strictly improvisation. Okay, now onto the arpeggios. We've got a very cool section that goes something like this. I'm going to try and play through with it now. I'm trying a bit more closer in over here. I sometimes fluff this because it's quite cold here right now, and making excuses there. Okay, but anyway, let me take you through it. Watch the pinky, watch the first finger slow motion. Watch for this movement. You can see the pinky, first finger, and the middle finger does the root note. This is the arpeggios on the second PDF. Okay, check how nice it sounds if you play along with it. 2, 3, 4, and that's half speed. But we want to take it double speed, so we're looking at something like this. Now, these are cool exercises I used to do back in the 80s when the good old hard rock was around. So I have to get this back under the belt. But let me teach it to you, and hopefully in 2-3 weeks time I'm going to upload this another version at a super fast speed because I really want to get this going. But let me teach you what to do. Your first one, the D major, is going to be pull off from 14 to 10. Make sure your pinky's nice and clean on that pull off. And then 14 to 11 on the 3rd string. Nice string skip there. And if you watch my first finger that's busy waving over here now, I use him to actually grab that bottom string when I cross over. See there, it's grabbing there to help keep the string quiet. Nice technique to get under control. Also my thumb, it's resting on the strings to keep it nice and quiet. If I'm using a high gain, a lot of overdrive or distortion, string noise is imperative. We want to make sure there isn't any. Okay, so one more time through. 14, 10, 14, 11, 12. And then you go back to 11. Hammer on with the pinky. And end on the 10. So slow motion. 1, 9, 2, and 3, and 4, and then the second part, the A is going to start over here, which is going to go which is sort of like an inversion of it. It's starting on the root note this time, so which is fret number 12. This note is A. There's your 11, as on your PDF. Hammering onto the 14. Crossover string, so it's a nice string skipping exercise. Hammer on the pinky, pull off the pinky. You can see my picking hand hasn't moved. He's sort of quite stationary there. Pick one note, got 3. Come back to here and finish off. So your A. If you join them together, you've got your D and A major arpeggio. Slow motion if you want to join me. 3 and 4 and... And then your minor shapes are going to be slightly different. You're going to just play the B minor and F sharp minor. You need a bit of a different angle there. Your shapes slightly different because obviously you're arpeggiating a minor shape, not the major shape, and you can hear the difference in the tone as well. Going 10, 7. Nice pull-offs. Again, your pinky is going to get really strong with this. That's a really good technical exercise to get going as well. 11, 7. Okay, onto the root note. Notice all the root notes I'm using my middle finger with because I want to get, with my fretting hand, I want to get a sequence repetition. And when I say sequence repetition, it means that I'm going pinkies and first fingers for this exercise for pull-offs, and my middle finger for all my root notes. In other words, the notes that determine what the chord was being played. So very important for this. Even here you can see pinky and first onto the root note with the first finger, and the same with the A. With the minor, the same story. Pinky and first finger, middle finger for the root note, onto the F sharp. And then we got a very wide stretch over here for the next one, which is going to be the G. And for this over here, you might need to drop the thumb a little bit for the extension, but you should get it with the tabs. Like I said, if you're getting this video, you're probably an intermediate to advanced player. So I'm hoping that you find there's a lot of fun inside this. Nice little tune, a lot of improvisation. And I'm going to say cheers now with a quick little solo because it's just really fun to do. I'm going to start with the tune and I'm going to sort of noodle in and out of the tune. In other words, go between the tune and back. And just have some fun with the song, so to speak, melodically and improvisationally. Okay, here we go. And there might be a few mistakes, so please don't laugh too loud. So just have fun with this piece. Sort of get your inner shredding out, get your techniques nice and cool, practice a nice melodic discipline, nice finger exercises. There's so much wrapped up inside this Canon in D. 3 different backtracks that will be on your way to you as well to sit and jam with. I hope you have fun with it. Please give me some feedback. I'd love to hear your comments on this. And like I said, hopefully 3 weeks I'll release a much more faster, more polished backtrack to show that I've been practicing as well. So it's not about you. I also want to get better. Guys, have an awesome week. Take care. Thank you.